friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is going to be my winter favorites. These are some of my favorite videos to film. I love just doing seasonal favorites, kind of curating a small collection of things that are inspiring me, vibes that I'm very into right now, kind of honing in on like what sorts of colors I'm gravitating toward, stuff like that. This never means that I'm exclusively only using this pile of stuff. Obviously, I'm still gonna be testing things out, and sometimes I just like have the urge to play with a color that is not even remotely related to my overall winter vibe. This is just kind of a general curation of things that I would like to use, things that are kind of reflecting my mood right now, stuff like that. It's just kind of a fun way for me to dig through my collection, you know, shop my stash a little bit, get re-inspired to use things, and share it with you, of course. As always, I love hearing like what your vibes are for winter. Do we have similar tastes and preferences right now? Are you feeling something totally different than me? I would love to know. And of course, I will have everything that I talked about linked down below. If it's still available, I can't promise every single thing I talk about will be, just because these are things from my personal collection. Some things are things I've had for a long time. Some things may not exist anymore, but it's just a way for me to feel excited and inspired, and maybe a way to inspire you as well to dig through your collection. Before we hop into it, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my channel by the time this video goes up. It's from a recent 3 looks, 3 palettes. As far as my accessories go, this is an Ana Luisa necklace, and these earrings were a gift, so I don't know where they're from. And yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna hop into it. I have some cheek products, palettes, and lips, and it's gonna be so fun. All right, let's just kick it off with blush. I have 5 creams and liquids and 5 powders. I always try my best to narrow these videos down as much as possible to like really hone in on a specific curated idea, but it can be hard because I have lots of ideas and things that I'm into. Just to preface, as far as my overall vibe goes for winter, I'm very much feeling moody. I'm feeling dark tones, muted tones. I'm feeling smokiness and grays and smoky blues and smoky greens and just stuff like that. Just as the general colors that I'm into, especially as far as like my eyes and stuff, which I will get into that obviously. As far as my cheeks and lips go, I feel like I'm always, every winter, I gravitate toward berry tones a lot and reds, especially like deeper reds. I just love it so much. I'm also really into mauve again right now. I feel like I haven't been in a mauve moment in a while. Like I even went with kind of a mauvey blush today, and I just love it. I'm really feeling the mauve. So in these blushes, it's gonna be a lot of reflection of kind of those reddish berry tones and also mauve. So let's talk about them. Let's start with my 2 liquids, because I have, again, 5 like cream and liquid situations. 2 of them are liquids. So this one is from Lunar Beauty. It's the shade Mauve Mommy. I love the Lunar Beauty blushes. I think they're so good. I'd ordered 3 when they first came out. Look at that color. Are you kidding me? That's so pretty. But I'd ordered 3 when these first launched, and I actually just ordered the other 3 recently because they were pretty discounted for Black Friday. I have this one from Rare Beauty as well. It's called Believe, and it's just so good. This one's, they're pretty darn similar. I gotta be honest. I gotta be so honest. I feel like the Lunar Beauty one might be slightly rosier, but both very much that just like delicious, yummy mauve. I am feeling really excited that I'm really inspired about mauve right now. Because I really haven't been in a while. I feel like mauve just hasn't been something I've gravitated toward. And now I have 3 creams. One of them is this Paranormal Plush Blush from Unearthly. This is the shade Wilted Blossom. These blushes are cool because they're very much a cream, but they kind of pad out and blur to be a very blurred cheek moment. Do you see how pretty that is? I love that color. It's kind of like a softer wash of color, but can be built up to be a lot more dramatic. Getting into more of the red side of things, I have another one from Unearthly. These Paranormal Plush blushes are so good. This one's in the shade Blood Moon. Like, that's delicious. This like rich, like darker red. It's just so pretty. And again, I love that kind of like blotted, like blurred sort of effect. They feel very like soft to the touch when they dry down. They're so good. And last cream I have is from the Cosmic Brushes 'Tis the Season collection. This one's in the shade Mary. Like, are we kidding? This is so pretty. Just this yummy, like reddish berry tone. This one is a lot more of a balmy texture. It's gonna stay a bit more creamy, a bit more shiny. It doesn't dry down and blot out the way those Unearthly ones do. This one stays very like cream focused, and I personally love layering my blushes. I love putting down some sort of like liquid or cream and then layering a powder over top of it. And you're gonna see that reflected in my powder picks. So moving on to those, I have 5 here. I feel like I have 2 matte ones and 3 that are a bit more glowy, so we can do the matte ones first. First is this one from Give Me Glow. It's the shade Swipe Right. Just like a gorgeous, like soft mauve. I'm actually wearing it today paired with the Lunar Beauty one that I showed you earlier. It's a good, just sort of like dusty mauve. I feel like I put that in a really bad spot. It's hard to see. But it's on my face today, just a really nice kind of rich mauve. I also have this one from What's Up Beauty in Relaxed Roma. This one's gonna be a little bit more of like a slightly pinkier mauve, I feel like. Like it's a little warmer by comparison. It's not as like purpley mauvey. It's a little bit more like neutrally. It's very pretty though. Oh, I lied. I have 3 matte ones and 2 glowy ones. So this is an Oden's Eye one. This is Sunset Clouds. Again, another mauve. When I tell you I'm into mauve right now, I do not lie. This one's a little bit pinkier compared to the other 2, but it's still so pretty. And I just feel like with the other things I'm talking about, like they just all go together so well. Now to the 2 glowy ones and kind of getting into more of like the berry red situation. This one is from Flower Beauty. This is the shade Berry More. We have talked about this blush in particular so many times. Again, it's kind of just like a softer, glowy berry. It's a little bit more of like a satiny texture, so it's not like matte. It definitely leaves a bit of a sheen. It's so good. I also have this one from Rare Beauty. It's one of the luminous powder blushes. This one's the shade Love. Very vibrant, like glowy red. Like these are the kind of blush that you wear if you want kind of like a blush lighter situation where it's kind of a blush highlighter combo. It's just so glowy and so highlighty. It is absolutely stunning. I love it. I feel like it looks really warm compared to the other things, but I feel like when I layer this with especially like one of these like reddish or even mauve-y tones, it just looks so berry. It's such a good like berry red. I guess to finish off cheeks, I have 3 highlighters as well. I feel like as a general rule, I kind of just wear whatever highlight I'm in the mood for that particular day. Like I'm not tied to any one over the other, but I did want to try to think of what things I felt like were going to complement like the palettes and stuff I talk about. So I have that. I have like a pinky tone and then bluey tones, and I feel like that just suits. First being the Blend Bunny and Ellis Atlantis Cheek Glaze. It is so good. I'm wearing it today paired with those mauve blushes, and I just think it suits so well. It is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite products of the entire year. It is so pretty. Again, this is very much almost like a blush lighter, kind of blush topper situation. The way I'm the worst at doing these swatches, but it's just the prettiest kind of like pinky glow. Like it has a little bit of a base color to it, but not so much so that you can't use it as a highlighter, but it very much like melts in with your blush so well. This is such a top tier product, and I feel like a soft pink like this for winter is so good. I have this one from Oden's Eye. This is in the shade Gentle Firefly. It's a very like sparkly, like bluey purple. Like this is giving winter wonderland, absolutely. Popped that one right here at the bottom of my hand, but it's very like icy, and knowing that I'm very much into like the smoky situation right now, like imagine this like almost pinky purple blue paired with like a dark gray smoky eye. I think that would be so cool. Like what a fun pop of color. And of course, Moon Cruiser from Kaleidos. I just feel like this is such an ultimate like wintry color. It is such a pretty like bluey purple shift. That one's over here kind of at the top of my hand. It's a unique one because I feel like this has like zero base color to it. You only really see that flash of like bluish purple when the light hits it just right. It is so cool. I love it so much. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes, I narrowed it down to 15. It was very hard. I just have so many things that suit the vibes that I'm into. Again, the smoky tones, the muted tones. I want like blues and greens, soft purples, like the grayish tones. It's just all exactly what I want right now. And this is my pile. And you will notice there are no like Christmas themed palettes in this pile or like ones that just say like winter on the front. I actually did do a separate video on my channel earlier in the month where I talked about all of the like Christmas, holiday, in-your-face winter palettes in my collection. So I didn't want to be repetitive in this video. I wanted to seek out palettes specifically that captured the vibe that I'm into without it just being a blatant winter palette, if that makes sense. So if you want more recommendations of things that suit like, you know, holiday time or like in-your-face winter, you can go check that video out as well. I'm gonna go in no particular order. I just have these kind of ordered slightly smallest to biggest. And I do have videos with all of these palettes across like my channel, my Instagram, all that good stuff. If you are interested in seeing inspo with these palettes, I highly recommend just searching my channel. You can search like my name and then the name of the palette and things will pop up. In theory, I would love to play with as much of these again as I can, but I can't make any promises that I can get to all 15 of these because I am constantly testing things out. But in theory, I do want to try to play with these again as much as I can. Some of these I've played with very recently as well, so let's get into them. First being the Melt Mary Jane palette, I love so much. She's so pretty. The smoky greigey tones are just everything that I need right now. I love this vibe. It's giving very winter, very like sultry. It's just such a good palette. Such a good palette. I love the thick metallics. It's just so smoky. It is everything I want right now. I feel like every winter I love shouting this one out. I don't think this exists anymore, but this was the Sigma and Cinderella palette. I just think it's so good for winter. Like this is the epitome of things that I'm into right now, like this soft smoky green, the blues. I love the different pops of cool tone that are in here. The different metallics are just so pretty. I just feel like this is always like just a delicious winter wonderland. It's so good. From Oden's Eye, I have the Jewels and Gem. I'm just so into this right now. I think it's so pretty. I love, again, the smoky blues and purples, the dusty pinky mauves, these different like metallics like that are leaning kind of in the silver zone. Even these like pops of like khaki green. It is so cool. It is so winter. I love it. I love it a lot. This palette always makes me so happy. This is the Lethal Cosmetics. I want to say it's called the Evergreen palette. I should know this. It's not written on the package. Of course, it will be in the description box. I'm pretty sure it's the Evergreen. She's just so pretty. Again, it's like this shade of green is everything to me right now. And like this blue, I love the different shimmers. Even like these bright, fun pops right here. Very much not what I'm looking for winter, but it works in this palette so well. And I feel like it can add that extra bit of spice to these moody vibes that I'm into. Just adding a little touch of playfulness. I think it's all just so great. So great. I feel like this is another one I talk about every winter because it's just so perfect. The Adept Flying Fiddles palette is absolutely like grungy winter. As soon as I ordered this and got it in my hands, I was like, this is absolutely going in my winter favorites. I just know it. I can see it now. It's just so pretty, like very much earthy, kind of spicy neutrals with a twist even. Very grungified. Again, that dark green is doing it for me. I love the pops of like mauviness. It's just everything. This is grungy winter. Grungy forest winter. It's perfect. On the topic of like grungy, muted, like forest winter, the Twilight palette from ColourPop is everything. I love this. I think the theming was perfect. It matches the colors of the movie so perfectly. It's just so good. The moody like blues and greens, everything. The different like silvery shimmers. It is so pretty. I know some people were annoyed that there wasn't a red in this palette, but there really isn't much red in the first movie. The first movie is completely overcome with that teal filter giving everything this like bluey green haze. It is exactly what I would have wanted a Twilight palette to be. And I feel like it's just perfect for winter. The Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette. This is so winter to me. I think it is so pretty. It definitely was meant to be a Halloween palette. Came out around Halloween. But especially for just the vibes I want, all these muted tones, this is giving spooky winter. And I love it. It's just so good. These different metallics are beautiful. They look so shiny and reflective on the lids, and I love these different mattes. I love kind of these like grays into these like sagey green muted blue. It is just so good. It just hit the nail on the head of what I'm liking right now for going into the winter months. On top of the muted moodiness that I've been talking about, I'm also always into rich jewel tones when it comes to winter. I love jewel tones, and I feel like winter is just the perfect prime time to embrace jewel tones. So the Royal Europe from Nomad Cosmetics captures that so well for me. It is just so pretty. So pretty. I love these different like jeweled multi-chromes, the rich jewel tone mattes. This is just so good. Again, like these teals, it is so appealing to me. Even the pops of red, because like, even though winter is so much more than like Christmas time, because really Christmas is just days after the winter solstice begins. So for me, winter is so beyond just holiday season. I still do like a red, especially like eventually Valentine's Day will be here. That's part of winter as well. These rich reds are so good. I have two from Beaute Bar. The first is the newest palette. This is the Realm of Fairies in collab with Sassy Fairy. I knew immediately this was gonna be a winter favorite. This is kind of like a moody, wintry fairy dream. It is so good. Like I said, I'm very much into these like muted, moody, like grays and blues, and this is everything. This is such a good kind of gray blue palette, periwinkle leaning. It is so pretty. This is unlike anything else in my collection. I love her. I love her so much. I have absolutely loved the looks I've created with this recently. And the other Bella Beaute Bar palette is the Bejeweled. She's so good. Like, are you kidding? What? These jewel tones are just everything. This is like the ultimate jewel tone palette. I love, again, the rich reds, the darker teals, the blues, the purples. It is so pretty. I love this. I love this so much. I really want to try to use this one soon because it's just so enchanting. I love jewel tones. I cannot say it enough. Throwing it back a little bit, I wanted to feature the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. This has beyond been discontinued, I'm pretty sure. But again, it's just doing things for me. I love kind of the blue-purple combination with the mixed metals going on. Like we have different shades of like bronze and gold, which for the most part, I'm very much leaning into silver right now. But I just feel like something about this is screaming just rich, yummy winter time to me. I always feel like this would be so pretty for like New Year's. I think it's just such a cool color story. And really, ever since this one and the Wilderness came out, whatever year this was, I almost want to say 2020, I feel like Beauty Bay palettes just have not stood out to me since. I need more that I love. I need to get like back into Beauty Bay. I'm just waiting for the perfect palettes to come out for me. And that was a great one. I have a Cosmic Brushes one. The Cool Trolls is absolutely what I want right now. This is kind of like a half cool tone colorful, half cool tone neutral sort of vibe. Like I love the taupes, the mauve-ish purples, the different dusty blues and grays. It's so good. So good. Like I cannot stress enough how much my soul needs cool tones going into winter. I think it's so pretty. Like I feel like you're one of two people. The winter time comes and you embrace everything warm. And I do feel that way from time to time, but I just love embracing that cool atmosphere as much as possible. Maybe it's because I live in Florida and it only gets cold so much. And I love the cold weather. Like I love being cold. It makes me so happy. Like when I visit places that are cold, I thrive. I cannot tell you how much I love the cold. So I feel like me embracing the cool tones with like makeup and stuff like that is a way for me to kind of have that, even if the weather doesn't reflect that. I don't know if that makes sense. If you're a cool weather lover who also lives in Florida, I feel like maybe we get each other. The Longing palette from Blend Bunny. This is one of my favorite palettes of the year. I think it is so good. It's one of my favorites this brand has ever done. It's definitely giving like kind of muted vintage tea party, but it's also giving winter. Again, it's the dusty tones that are doing it for me. These like khaki taupey greenish browns, these soft like cool toned like dusty teals, the lavenders and grays. It's just so pretty. I love this palette. I think the brand did such an amazing job. I love how curated of a theme it is. I love that it's not a rainbow palette. It is everything. This was A+, such a good one. And last are two from Ensley Rain, one being what I'm wearing today that I love. I love this look so much, but it is their newest little mini critter palette. This is the What the Fox. Such a cutie that is embodying winter to me. This rich but still dusty sort of blue-green. I love the pops of warmth. I feel like it offsets it so nicely. This is my favorite one of the 6 pans that they've started. This is the 3rd one of the series, and I love it. It's honestly gonna be hard to beat this one. This is so cute. And last is another Ensley Rain one. This is the Light in Your Eyes. I knew this was gonna have to be my winter favorites. These like dingy, dusty, grungy colors, the cooler toned neutrals, all these different like mixed metallic sort of shimmers, like lots of silvery taupey tones. It is just hitting so hard for me. And I did talk about the Cold Moon in my like winter and holiday palettes video, so I feel like this with that are just gonna be a match made in heaven. It's so pretty. Sticking with eyes for just a second longer, I did want to shout out a few of my Menagerie Moonlit Metal toppers. I feel like I just love using these so much, and I wanted to pick out a few shades that I feel like I'm really inspired by and ones that I feel like will match the vibes of the palettes that I'm talking about really well. But I have so many of these. I'm gonna be reaching for all of them at any given moment, but I feel like these 5 in particular just scream winter and kind of balance these palettes out really well. In no particular order, first I have Ibis. This is like a very vibrant metallic red. So good. And again, winter is so much more to me than just the holiday season. But again, like between like Christmas going into like Valentine's Day. This like rich metallic red is so pretty. This one, Atlas Moth, is so good. It's kind of like a reddish purple, like kind of a berry tone with sort of a blue flash going through it. It's really, really cool. Like, do you see how reflective that is? It's pure magic. I just love it. I could stare at that all day. I like that it completely captures that like, you know, berry mauvey nature I was talking about earlier, but then with that flash of like icy. Yes. This blue, Amylite, it's kind of like a very vibrant, sparkly, like blue purple with like a little bit of sea foam in there. Like, are we kidding? It's so good. And this one's a bit of like a chunkier sparkle compared to these two. These two are more just like metallic, whereas this one's like almost glittery, not gritty, but it does have more of that glittery sparkle. This one is Adelie, another one that's a little bit more of a chunky sparkle one. Very pretty, kind of like an icy, almost like a soft pinkish purple with like a vibrant like green flash going through it. It's a little bit green, a little bit pink, a little bit purple. I feel like these two work together harmoniously because they're similar in the sense that they both have that chunky sparkle and shine, but they have different shifts and flashes to them. And last is this one, Hummingbird. This one's more of that like metallic texture. This one's a very soft like pinky shade that goes into a little bit of like a soft blue, like an icy blue. I just feel like that's perfect. And especially because I'm into that like, you know, flash of blue right now. That's perfect. And I think these are so cute. I think these are fun, like wintry tones that add a little bit of difference. And I really like that splash of red in combination with these. I think it's a good combo. Last is lips. I narrowed it down to 15. At first, I was having a hard time even coming up with 10. But then as I was digging through my lipsticks, I was like, wait, no, I need that one. Now I need that one. And then I was starting to have so many and I was like, no, I want to narrow this down. I like having a smaller curated selection of things that are inspiring me. So I got it down to 15. I have 2 lipsticks, 8 liquid lipsticks, and 5 glosses. And again, they're kind of reflecting that like berry, red, and mauve sort of situation. Very much reflecting the blush choices that I have. And I feel like these complement the palettes really well. But of course, my lip choices stem well beyond this. Like, I feel like everything I talked about in my fall favorites reflects now as well. Like, I'm still very much into a brown. I will still always wear like a sheer sparkly gloss. I feel like that's a given. I will still from time to time maybe bust out, you know, like a hot pink, a vampy purple. There's no rules. I'm not stuck in this box of just like berries, reds, and mauves, but these are the things that are capturing my winter taste and complementing my selection of things so far really nicely. Let's do the lipsticks first. This one is Monolith Cosmetics Laced, very much a grayish sort of mauve tone. Like, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. And I really like pairing with this with different lip liners. Like, if you paired it with something really dark, it's going to kind of offset it differently. If you paired it with something pinkier, it'll look different. It's very transformative. I love that kind of grayish mauve hue. I have this one from Fantasy Cosmetica. This one's the shade Buried. Very much a like brownie red, like very bricky, so, so pretty. I love this. Honestly, I might have even talked about this in my fall favorites, but it just extends into now. This like bloody brownish red is so good. Let's do my glosses next because I only have 5 of them. First being Hustla from NYX. It's one of the Butter Gloss Blings. I just feel like the shifts and tones in this one are so good. Like, it's sort of a brownie situation, but it has like little sparkles of like cranberry plumminess. It's so hard to capture on camera. There we go. Maybe you can kind of see that a little bit better. The little sparkles that are in there. I have this one from Lawless in the shade Candy Sky. This is just such a pretty kind of very light metallic pinky mauve. Like, it is so shiny. You can like see how much shine reflects in that. Very like sparkly kind of pinky mauve sort of situation. Sugar Pill Bloom is just perfection. This is a very slippy gloss. It's very comfortable, very thin, and it has a beautiful like blue purple shift. Like, are we kidding with that? I've loved this for years and I feel like it's just suiting a lot of the things that I'm into right now. And I have 2 from Kaleidos. Kaleidos really has not impressed me very much over the last couple of years, ever since they've kind of toned things down and changed things up. But I love these lip glazes. I think they are awesome. First is the shade Free Fall. This one is like a very light sort of sparkly gray. I use this gloss all the time when I'm doing something super cool toned. I think it's so pretty. And then I also have this one in Last Smoke. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous soft mauve. Like, so pretty. These are a very thin formula, super comfy, but that like silvery gray It's so soft and muted and so perfect. Take my sleeve down a little bit for the final 8 liquid lipsticks. I have 2 liquid lipsticks from Blend Bunny. One is a dark red, one is a mauve. First is the shade Haunting. It's just so pretty, like a very vibrant, rich, like vampy dark red. And also the shade Moody. I actually wore this recently and I loved it. I feel like I've just been, again, so into like Gragey Mauve, and that is so good. Like, look at those colors. Those are so pretty. And I love this formula. It is so comfortable. Like, one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. I have this one from Unearthly. It's called Gloria. It's a really pretty red. Really, really pretty red. Look at that. It's so rich. It's not as dark as Haunting, but it's still like a very like dark, vibrant red. I have Secret Garden from Likely Makeup. Every single time I wear this liquid lipstick, I get compliments. Without a doubt. Like, if I ever want to feel good about myself, I'll wear this liquid lipstick. It's very much like a kind of a burgundy red. Like, it has a little teensy weensy bit of plumminess behind it, whereas like the Unearthly has a little bit more like reddish brown in my opinion. It's just so pretty. Like, very like dark burgundy plummy red. It's so good. I have 2 from Menagerie. I have one of my favorite reds of all time, Anthurium. I feel like it's probably really similar to that Likely Makeup one. Oh, it is, but it's purplier. It's like a really good kind of wine red, like still in that burgundy purple stage, but this one's a bit more purpley compared to the Likely Makeup one. Very similar, but I will justify it. I also have Love Bite from Menagerie. This is just such a fun, like little berry shade. Like, how playful and cute. I feel like it's not that often that I'm into this berry sort of color, but when wintertime hits, I don't know what it is. I love this berry. Like, it's so, so pretty. And last, I have 2 from Dose of Colors. First being a berry. Berry Me. This one gets talked about every single year, and I just always get re-inspired to use it. This one's a lot more pink in comparison. Wow. When this shade isn't here, this looks very purple, but now that it's next to it, it looks very pink. Very much a like raspberry sort of shade. It's so, so cute. And last is the shade Extra Saucy. I just wanted a really nice sort of vibrant red to top it all off. Very bright, very in your face. And I feel like between like the holidays, Christmas, New Year's even, I feel like a bold lip is so fun on New Year's, Valentine's Day, just for fun with like a dark smoky eye. It's just very cool. So, those are my, I guess, eye toppers and lip picks. So yeah, that is my winter favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you in any way to maybe go through your collection. Again, I would love to know like what your vibe is. Do we have very similar vibes for winter right now? Are you feeling something totally different? I would love to know. Do you also have any of these? Do you want any of these? Let's just chat in the comments. I want to hear it all. If you made it to the end of this video, leave some wintry emojis. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm BATTYBEAN there as well. Also, if you want to, you can subscribe. I'm posting most days over here, and you can join my channel membership. The link to sign up will be down below. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different perks, and I would love to have you. Also, if you want, you can hop over to my second channel if you would like some additional content. That's also in my description box. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.